Have you ever felt broke? No matter how hard you try, something about you always falls short. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you carry something you wish you could change about yourself. But what if I told you that the very thing you see as a flaw might be your gift? Stick around because today we're diving into a story that may just change the way you see your imperfections. We live in a world obsessed with perfection. Social media, resumes, relationships. Everything is about being polished, flawless, put together. We're told that cracks should be hidden, broken things should be thrown away, and only what's whole has value. But is that true? What if what you see as imperfection is actually what makes something beautiful? What if what we try so hard to fix or hide is the exact thing that gives our lives deeper meaning? Today's story isn't just a folktale, it's a mirror. And maybe, just maybe, you'll see yourself in it. There once lived a humble farmer in a quiet countryside town. Every morning he would walk down a dusty path to a nearby stream, carrying a wooden yoke across his shoulders. Hanging from each end was a clay pot, one on the left, one on the right. The pot on the left was perfect. Not a single crack, not a drop spilled. It did exactly what it was made to do. But the pot on the right, it had a flaw. A crack ran down its side, barely noticeable at first glance, but enough that each trip to the stream cost it half its contents. Still, day after day, the farmer kept using both pots. He'd fill them both at the river, hoist them onto his shoulders, and walk the same path back home. One pot always arrived full, the other always half empty. The farmer never complained. He went about his life like nothing was wrong. One day, a friend came to visit, a city man, curious about the farmer's peaceful life. After spending a day watching the farmer's routine, the friend couldn't help but ask, "You seem happy," he said, "but why do you keep using that broken pot?" The farmer simply smiled. "Come with me tomorrow morning," he said. "I'll show you." The next day, the two men walked together down the dirt path toward the stream. They filled both pots, then began the walk back home. Along the way, the friend noticed the cracked pot dripping steadily. Droplets fell like breadcrumbs, trailing behind them. But he said nothing. He waited. When they returned and the pots were set down, the friend asked again, "You lose half your water every day. Wouldn't it make more sense to fix that pot or throw it out and get a new one?" The farmer motioned back toward the path. "Let's take a walk," he said. They retraced their steps. As they walked, the farmer pointed to the right side of the path, and only then did the friend truly see it. On the right side of the path, the side where the cracked pot had leaked its water, the ground was alive. Wildflowers bloomed in brilliant hues. Herbs grew wild and fragrant. Young vegetables peeked up through the green. On the left side, nothing, just dry earth and patches of grass. The farmer turned to his friend with a quiet smile. "I've known for a long time that this pot was cracked," he said. "But instead of throwing it away, I planted seeds along the path. Every day as I walked home, the water that leaked gave those seeds life. Now we have flowers for the table, herbs for our meals, and a reminder every day that something doesn't have to be perfect to be useful." The friend stood in silence, and in that moment, something shifted. Maybe you're like that cracked pot. Maybe you've spent years thinking that something about you isn't good enough. You carry wounds, scars, or mistakes from your past. You have less to offer. Maybe you've measured your value by what you lack instead of what you give. But here's the truth. Every single person you admire has cracks. Every leader, artist, parent, or friend who has ever moved you. They've all bled, struggled, all lost something. Yet through that, they've also grown, and they've made a difference. Our culture loves to celebrate the finished product, the success story, the highlight reel. But we rarely talk about the water that was lost along the way, the setbacks, the imperfections, the effort that didn't always pay off the way we expected. And yet, that's where the story gets powerful. The water that drips from your cracked pot might never make it to the destination, but it just might give life to something along the way. A kind word you said when you were hurting, a bit of encouragement you gave when you felt weak yourself, a project that didn't go viral but changed one person's life. That's not failure, that's impact. So let me ask you, what are your cracks? What have you been trying to hide, fix, or disown? What if, instead of pretending they aren't there, you leaned into them? What if, like the farmer, you asked, how can this still be useful? Maybe it's your past. Maybe it's your pain. Maybe it's a trait that's made life harder, but it also taught you something no textbook ever could. There's a quiet power in embracing your imperfections, not to settle, but to see how they've shaped your empathy, your creativity, your strength. Because your cracks aren't just proof that you have been broken, they're proof that you've survived. And surviving? That's the foundation for everything that matters. Let's go even further. You see, understanding your imperfections is one thing, but choosing to use them, to turn them into your power, that takes courage. You might ask, how can I grow through something that broke me? The answer lies not in ignoring the pain, but in letting it guide you. You've heard of post-traumatic growth? It's a real phenomenon. People who go through immense hardship sometimes come out stronger, more purposeful, more empathetic, not despite the pain, but because of it. Think of it like this. Pressure turns coal into diamonds. Fire tempers steel. Storms make roots grow deeper. Maybe that heartbreak you went through taught you what real love looks like. Maybe that failure you endured taught you resilience. Maybe that moment when you felt most lost, that's when you discovered your direction. We don't always get to choose what breaks us, but we do get to choose what we do with the pieces. Right now, I want you to think about a moment in your life that hurt, but changed you. Maybe it was a betrayal, a loss, a failure. Now ask yourself, what did I learn from that? How did it shape me? What part of me became stronger because of it? Write it down. Seriously, take a minute after this video and jot it in your phone or notebook, because that's the start of transformation. Awareness. Your pain isn't just pain. It's potential. Every time you feel inadequate, every time you doubt yourself, remember the farmer and his pot. Remember the flowers. Remember the herbs. Remember the life that bloomed. Not despite the crack, but because of it. It's one thing to be inspired by a story, it's another to let it rewrite your beliefs. Most of us were raised with the idea that value comes from what we produce, that our worth is measured in success, efficiency, perfection. But what if that idea is wrong? Or at least incomplete? Think about this. When you're with someone you love, a friend, a partner, a sibling, do you value them for being perfect? Or do you love them for who they are? Their quirks, their goofiness, their resilience. We give others grace all the time. But for ourselves, we expect flawlessness. That needs to change, because if you spend your life chasing some imaginary version of perfect you, you'll miss the power of the real you. The one who's been through things, learned lessons, and carries stories that no one else can tell. So how do you shift that mindset? Start by changing your inner dialogue. Instead of, I'm not enough, try, I'm still growing. Instead of, I always mess things up, try, I've made mistakes and I've learned. Instead of, I hate this part of me, try, this part of me is teaching me something. It may feel unnatural at first, but remember, the words we speak to ourselves become the beliefs we carry, and beliefs shape everything. You're not lying to yourself, you're training your brain to see what's already there. Let's also redefine success. Success isn't just money, followers, or achievements. Sometimes success is getting out of bed when you didn't want to, calling a friend instead of isolating, saying no when you usually say yes. Sometimes success is trying again when you failed before, and sometimes it's simply owning your story. The farmer didn't try to fix the pot. He didn't pretend it wasn't cracked. He used the crack. He saw value in something that looked broken. You can do that too. There's someone out there who needs what you have, not just your strengths, but your honesty, your growth, your truth. You don't have to have it all together to make an impact. You just have to be willing to show up as you are, because there's beauty in the broken and purpose in the imperfect. If you've watched this far, it means something inside you resonates. You know you're not just a polished version of yourself. You're someone who's endured, survived, and still chooses to keep going. And that's powerful. Now, I want to leave you with 3 steps you can take right now to begin using your cracks for good. 1. Identify your cracks. Ask yourself, what parts of my story have I been hiding or ashamed of? Write them down. Name them. Don't be afraid. This is where healing begins. 2. Reframe them. Instead of thinking, this makes me weak, ask, what did this teach me? Or, how has this helped me help others? 3. Share one piece. Whether it's with a friend, a journal, or even a social post. Put one piece of your story out there. You never know who it might help. Closing message. There's a Japanese art form called kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold. The cracks aren't hid, they're highlighted. Because the flaw is part of the story. That's what I hope you remember. You are not damaged goods. You are a work of art. In progress, yes, but already valuable. So the next time you feel like a cracked pot, think of the flowers. The life that bloomed not in spite of your flaws, but because of them. Thank you for being here. Thank you for walking this path with me. And if this message spoke to you, share it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because someone else out there might be carrying their own cracked pot, wondering if it still matters. Let's remind them that it does.